Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and today we are breaking down what happened at training camp today on August 22nd. We got great freaking news this morning about the offensive line. We broke it down on the live stream. You guys saw it. You guys know the news by now. Mekhi Becton is going to be the starting right tackle. And even better news to the injury front. AVT is back at practice and expected to play on Saturday, as well as Laken Tomlinson. And Dwayne Brown is nearing a return. He is in Houston right now getting his shoulder checked out. And if everything checks out good, he'll be activated off the PUP list. So everything is really materializing and coming together for this offensive line in just due time. But in this video, we're going to break down what happened on the practice field today, what we saw from the beat reporters that was in attendance, and I'm really excited to break it all down. And we also have some other injury news that we're going to break down and a lot of other stuff to talk about in today's video. If you guys are just tuning in for the first time, do your boy a solid favor by simply hitting that like button on your way into the show and comment your thoughts of the overall training camp of today. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to another Jets Media video. Now, let's get straight into business. Cool thing about today's practice, and we heard this on One Jets Drive last night, is that Robert Saleh really wanted this week to simulate what it's like in season throughout the week for practice. So today they simulated an in-season practice, starting it at 12:30 instead of doing the usual 10:15 time during training camp. So Robert Saleh is trying to put these guys through a week of preparation for an actual game day, and I think that's pretty cool that we have, a little simulation. And I like that this coaching staff is doing that to get their minds right, get their bodies prepared of what the season's going to be about in terms of their routine. So that's a little thing I thought was cool. Today there was no pads on, so definitely gonna take everything with a grain of salt in terms of the effort and in terms of the physicality and all those things. But other than that, let's get into some other injury stuff before we talk about what happened on the practice field. We talked about Mekhi playing at right tackle. We talked about AVT and Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown, but Joe Tippmann is dealing with a knee injury, and Robert Saleh said he's optimistic that he'll be back by week number 1, which is definitely a promising sign. But it is unfortunate that we're not going to be able to see Joe Tippmann in the preseason finale against the Giants, because that's really where Joe Tippmann would be able to separate himself from Connor McGovern and other players on the offensive line to get those reps in as a rookie. Same with Izzy Abanikanda. He is dealing with a thigh injury. He's going to be out several weeks, so we're not going to see him in the preseason finale as well, which is unfortunate. Two of the big rookies for the New York Jets is dealing with some injuries, but the good news is they're not long-term. They should be good to go by week 1, if not early in this season, which is definitely a good sign. Other veterans who was not at practice, Carl Lawson still dealing with a back injury. Robert Saleh said they're being really cautious with him. They do not want to throw him out there. He is progressing in the right direction. He's doing some more individual stuff. He's running and doing all those things, but they simply don't want to throw Carl Lawson out there if he's not 110% for obvious reasons. And, if there was one position group that can suffer injuries, not that we don't want injuries anywhere, it's the defensive line, man. We got next people up to replace Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, Bryce Huff, John Franklin Myers, Michael Clemens. All the boys on that defensive line that can fill in for Carl Lawson until his return. But we need Carl Lawson, man. He's a damn good football player, and hopefully he gets back on the practice field and can play week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. Another player who has not been practicing due to a personal matter is Corey Davis. There's some rumors speculating that the Jets might move on from Corey Davis and free up $10 million. I'm personally not buying into those rumors. Hey, I could be wrong. The Jets could cut him for all I know. I'm not saying I know anything, but I just don't think I would agree with the move unless there's a big move on the horizon. Like if they really are going after Devontae Adams, for example, okay, that makes sense. You free up $10 million and you pursue Adams, but I don't see that as a realistic option. The Jets need as many bodies as possible for Aaron Rodgers to throw the football to, and Corey Davis is a seasoned vet. He's not here as the number 1 or even number 2 wide receiver. I think it would be not a smart move for the Jets to move on from Corey Davis. So I think all that speculation is a little bit just noise. Maybe he's dealing with something personal we're just not aware of. So we'll see how that sorts itself out. Other than that, that's really it for the update in terms of the injuries and who's playing, who's not practicing. Jeremy Ruckert's back at practice, which is a very positive sign after dealing with an AC joint problem 2 weeks ago. Now let's get into what happened on the practice field. Woo, it feels good that we can finally have Mekhi Becton next to Alijah Vera-Tucker yet again. Oh my gosh. So according to Nick Faria, he was saying that Mekhi Becton and AVT was opening up holes on that right side of the offensive line, the run game with ease. Now, we all know, Jets Nation, that a few years ago when we drafted AVT, we were so excited about the idea of having the long-term left side of the offensive line solidified. AVT at left guard, Mekhi Becton left tackle. Well, just flip it around. We might have our long-term solution here with AVT at right guard, Mekhi Becton at right tackle. Hey, maybe in the future they shift over to the left side. I don't really care what side they're on. I just think that the hype around AVT and Mekhi Becton being paired up next to each other is back, because I remember 2 years ago when Jets fans were super excited about that duo, and it's finally back. They're both healthy. They're both ready to go. They're both young stars in the making. I think the only thing holding both of them back is injuries. Last year, AVT was one of the best offensive linemen in the entire NFL, playing left tackle, left guard, right guard, and he goes down with an injury. Mekhi Becton coming off his sensational rookie season, going up against guys like Aaron Donald and going up against guys like Nick Bosa as a rookie, and then he unfortunately has back-to-back season-ending injuries. So the only thing holding these two players back is health, and I think that we have two potential studs on the offensive line. Throw in Joe Tippmann as well as that third young stud, that this could be the cornerstone of the offensive line for a long, long time. And now unfortunately Tippmann's injured, so let's hope that he's all good. But it is really cool to see that Becton and AVT, their first practice together, we're already seeing some impacts of them. Whew, that is really, really cool to see. Now, who are they opening up holes for? Oh, Breece Hall. Breece Hall has been the talk of today's practice, according to the beat, that he's moving with a lot of speed, lateral quickness. And I saw Breece Hall with my own eyes last week, and I was moved by him. And you guys saw the video I made, and I was like, damn, Breece looks like he's the same old self, no missing steps, no like lack of speed. And when you go to practice, I'll be there again tomorrow, which will be the final open practice to the public. And just notice when you watch Breece Hall out there on 11 on 11, it feels like he's the same old player that we all fell in love with as a rookie last year, coming off that ACL. So really positive signs that Breece Hall is a talk of this practice, because that tells you all you need to know, that Breece Hall is going to be ready to go for week one. But Robert Saleh did say that Breece will not be playing this Saturday against the Giants. Neither will Dalvin Cook. Not shocking news to me. I don't think Breece Hall is that much ready to go out there and get contact yet. That's what they're going to wait for week one against the Buffalo Bills. So positive sign. Breece Hall's looking good. He's looking fast. He's looking great out there. Let's freaking go. Someone on defense who sparked today, who was making some plays. He made a really impressive pass deflection over the middle, was linebacker Quincy Williams. I think Quincy Williams is one of those players that doesn't get a lot of hype amongst the fan base. I was really excited when we extended him in the offseason, keep him with his brother Quinton Williams for the long term. And, you know, he's that off-ball linebacker next to CJ Mosley. And I feel like entering year 3 in the system with Saleh, we know what he's good at and we know what he's bad at. And I feel like this is the year where things are going to slow down for Quincy. I think for him, a lot of things were going so fast in his brain, and he would just see the ball and just over pursue his angles. I feel like now he's just going to take a breath and be able to rely on CJ and rely on himself, actually, and not rely on CJ too much. I didn't mean to say that. I meant usually, I feel like his first 2 years, he would rely on CJ to be like, all right, CJ, what are the calls? Where do I have to go? I feel like now Quincy understands the defense, where he just goes inside himself, goes inward, realizes, sees the offense, knows where it needs to be. And I think Quincy Williams could be a big-time piece for this defense this season, setting that tone, making that big-time hits, blitzing the quarterback here and there. Shout out to Quincy Williams, man. Excited to see what he does in his 3rd season with the New York Jets. Other than that, man, that's going to wrap up today's practice. Again, not a lot happened. Aaron Rodgers started off really clean and precise with those throws to Garrett Wilson over Sauce Gardner. Some little things along the Aaron Rodgers stuff. And keep in mind, folks, they're preparing for Aaron Rodgers to go out there Saturday against the Giants. I cannot freaking wait. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, guys, of today's training camp report. Cannot wait to be there tomorrow. If you guys are going to be there, let me know. Can't wait to see you guys then. Hit that like button on your way out. And I love you guys. Let's go Jets. Peace out.